I don't know if it makes any difference. There you go.
Okay, there we go. So service advisor meeting, June 26th. We're starting at 4:22 p.m. in the boardroom. Attendees are Dylan, Karen, Kevin On, Zach, Kevin Roberts, Jason Raggett, and Joel Michaud. So you guys have the agenda that we are going to talk about today. Profitability issues, the long-standing profitability issues that we've had in the service department, overstaffing concerns, strategic decision and path forward. So first thing that we're going to talk about is the profitability of the service department. So I think that we've had this discussion before where most dealerships break out their departments into individual businesses. So if the service department was a standalone business, would it be profitable? If the parts department was a standalone business and they did nothing else, would they be profitable? Same with new, same with used. So in 2023, the service department as a standalone business lost $100,000, six figures. That's just unacceptable. And we've been kind of dragging along, and we haven't really had a big consistent focus. We'll have a meeting here or there. We'll talk about some plans, yada yada, and then it falls off the rails. So, Jude, Chad, and I were just at what's known as a 20 group meeting. You have a bunch of dealerships that all sit together. You compare every line of your financial statement. You look for opportunities, things that you can do better, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Very intense meetings. You definitely, a lot of times you come out of that being like, man, what am I doing? Like, this is all very, very easy stuff. So we have a lot of work to do, but the good news is a lot of it is easy, low-hanging fruit that can really, really push the envelope. So profitability issues, going around looking at the statement, comparing it to the other dealers, we have more employees in our service department than any of the other stores, and we're this year we're barely making money. So I know I said 2023 we lost $100,000. This year we're like profitable by like $8,000. So we're going in the right direction, right? And I do credit that to we'll call it half-assed focus that we've put out there. But now's really time for the full court press. So 14 employees in the service department, and we've made $8,000 profit this year. So that means, for everybody sitting in this room, you've generated $700 towards the profitability of the dealership. So, Zach, how many hours do you think you've worked this year so far? And you put a dollar figure to that, and if that was your wage, you probably wouldn't be very, very happy with it. So typically when you're not making money in dealership land, the first instinct is we gotta cut staff. We're too bloated, and I won't lie, like that was kind of my first thought was, well, maybe we need to start cutting staff. However, there's a second part to that formula that doesn't involve cutting staff, and it's increasing sales, right? That's much better for you guys. That's much better for me. That's the direction that I would prefer to go in, especially coming away from those 20 group meetings where it's so glaringly obvious that we can easily get from making. So we're up $8,500 through 5 months. So that's $1,500 a month is what we've made. We can go from making $1,500 a month in the service department to making $20,000 a month. Blink of an eye, very, very simple switches. And I'll take responsibility myself. Like the last couple of years, I've been dragging my ass. It's been a struggle for me. I'm on new medication now, which over the last week has helped me like an incredible amount. Like I can't even begin to tell you the difference that I feel. So I feel, and going through these meetings, I feel a lot more energized and a lot more focused to try and help you guys achieve your goals. And I think Jude came back from these meetings pretty energized also to get things going. So I'm going to have more of a focus back in service as well. I'm actually going to move my computer back there and start to work out of there so I can be a little bit more present in that area. Key things that we are going to do. So apprentices, we're going to completely reevaluate how we use our apprentices. Somebody came up with a really good saying in those meetings. He was like, I look for things to do that don't need technicians, which is such a simple concept. And when he said it, I was like, man, I can't believe I didn't think of this, because you can't get technicians, right? There's just, no matter what you do, unless you want to, hire a Filipino on a transfer program, they're just not available. So it's like, instead of banging your head against the wall and being like, well, where do I find technicians? The flip side of it is, how can I get my apprentices doing more work that technicians don't need to do? So we're going to revamp that. We're going to put a big focus on brake fluid services. We're going to introduce that because we don't do that. Alignments and tire rotations. I know Karen's been kind of pushing the issue on that. This is going to be a big focus going forward. Alignments and tire rotations. We suck at it right now. Like, bottom line, we suck at it. The data suggests that we are not even offering it right now. Like, we just offer it at whatever we feel like it. So we have a very expensive piece of machinery down there. Two pieces of machinery down there that are very expensive. We need to start doing a better job of using it. Recommended maintenance and decline services in PBS. We are going to start using our PBS system more efficiently in those ways. This is a very good way to increase sales. Dealerships that use this consistently at the top performance-wise. We don't do a good job there at all. Auto dispatch, we're moving full speed ahead with that. No excuses anymore. That's, again, all the top performing dealers use auto dispatch. So we're going to be moving forward with this.
Are you still on operational?
Yeah, go ahead. You can
So,
go ahead. This is Karen.
Hi, I'm Karen. The recommended decline services, a lot of the dealers down there are utilizing it, and it's not that you guys aren't doing it. We don't have our PBS triggered to do it the way it can be done efficiently. So we've got Vance Motors, I think, has a really good system where, how you could go into a work order and you look on the side and it says recommended services and you go and it's blank. We're gonna fix that so that once you go in there, everything is populated that's recommended, because that's an option that PBS has, and apparently we aren't utilizing it at all, right? And then the deferred services, if it comes up and it says recommended service, because it's there, if you don't click off on it, what happens is that your work order will print out a list of the deferred on the work order. So it's almost like you don't really have to do anything with it. If they don't do it, it's putting it in there for you. So that was a really cool point that we had down there, that there's a lot of things in PBS that people are using, because most everyone down there was PBS, I think, outside of one Reynolds person, which was really nice because it just showed us things that we aren't really using. So, and then the auto, I'll get to that in the back in the end. Go ahead.
Compensation, we're actually going to do a compensation structure review. It's going to be a new pay plans or proposed new pay plans better suited to match what we're trying to accomplish as a service department. CSI is still driving me crazy. There's no reason we should consistently be struggling with this. There's
doing good this month.
Yeah, but how many months before we're garbage?
Oh, I know, but
right?
we're trending.
Yeah, so we're going to have some kind of anchor there. But there's going to be some give and take. And we'll get into that a little bit later. Alpha Drive. I saw a demo on Alpha Drive. It's an AI system that books appointments, and it is the cleanest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. They put a call through to a Ford dealership that has Alpha Drive AI to book an appointment, and it was smooth. And it runs 24 hours a day. So this is kind of the the pro side to some of the changes that we're going to do. The phone volume or the phone traffic that you guys are going to have to handle should come way down, because this is going to solve so this is going to solve a ton of problems. And I know AI is kind of, when it gets to when it comes to the phone side of things, I know a lot of people can be turned off by it, but I'm telling you guys, this thing was so clean and so smooth. I was so impressed by it. And you can prompt it at any given point in time to say, like in the very beginning, it says, if you want to speak to an agent, just say speak to an agent. You go right away. It's not one of those where you end up in a death loop or a vortex where you can't get somebody. This is just to try and ease up the bottleneck. And I'm really, really excited about this one. I wish you guys would have been there to listen to it. It was really fantastic.
We can do call and apps as well as we did one there, but
yeah. If we didn't have the tech meeting coming up, we probably would. But one of the dealerships. So here's another pro side. So I know we've talked about a couple of things that might make you guys squirm a little bit, but some of the on the positive side, I guess, there's a dealership that has a tips turned on. Like gratuities turned on for their service advisors. And I actually really like that idea, because you get asked for tips everywhere nowadays, and it's like, explain to me why my service advisors can't ask for a tip when the Starbucks barista is asking for it, right? So I'm actually on board with this. I don't know how the CSI anchoring is going to work in terms of the new pay plans, but I'll tell you this right now, the tips is going to be anchored to CSI. So it'll be something along the lines of, if we bring in $1,000 worth of tips, everything gets spread out equally. But if you guys don't hit your CSI targets, you only get 50% of it, right? Like that's a hard line for me if we're going to do it this way. And you guys are going to make extra money based on tips and customer service. That has to be. I can't have you guys making extra money on a customer service while our CSI is at $850, right? Like that just makes zero sense. So obviously the goal is to incentivize a better customer experience through recognition and reward. Another thing I'm going to be doing, or I guess Karen's going to be doing, is an Arturo's revamp. For the longest time, forever since we introduced Arturo's, it was always based around the sales department, because the sales department carried the dealership and the dealership's profitability for the longest time. Now, I know that I've said that the service department as a standalone isn't doing the best profitability-wise, but when you merge it with the parts department, you guys as a collective are actually performing way better than than the sales team. So in my mind, I'm looking at this and I'm like, why do I have all these goals for the sales department when the fixed team is clearly blowing them out of the water right now? So we're going to revamp Arturo's, and instead of it being based on sales, it's actually going to be based on service. And everybody, and so the old way of doing it, you might forget because we haven't really done it so much, is if sales hits their targets and service is the doc MVP, then service gets to send one guy, right? We're going to completely flip that script where if you guys hit your targets, and I think we talked about CP per RO, wheel alignments, and tire rotations, Karen?
no, wheel alignments for sure. CP per RO is definitely going to be in there, and we had talked about doing surveys too, but if you want to tie that to tips, then I'm okay, honestly, with hitting CP per RO and wheel alignments just. Okay. That's the two things I want.
So it'll be some variation of that, and if everybody in the room hits, everybody goes. Simple as that, right? So you guys aren't anchored into sales anymore. That was a very dated rewards program that I want to say that it was based on the sales department carrying the dealership, which is not happening anymore.
Do you guys have any suggestions on what you'd like to see for targets? Out of curiosity? I say CP per RO because that was a huge thing that came up across the board. I think 2 hours per RO is industry standard, and I think there was 2 out of the 8 of us that were even close to hitting it. We weren't, for the record. So that's a goal for everyone. So when we go back in October, it's going to come up again, and I want to be able to say our guys hit 2 hours per RO. Now, will we get there right away? No, but by October, I hope we do.
And then the final thing, so again, take the good with the bad, probably not going to be an overly popular one, but Saturdays through the summer, that's going to be a thing. We need that extra day to make money. It's non-negotiable at this point. We need every single hour that we possibly can. In the next meeting, I'm going to basically plead to the technicians for overtime, because it's not been an overly popular thing that we've put out there, but we need it at this point. We like our entire used inventory.
So mostly for reconditions.
Yeah, so it's all good work, right? It's just a matter of getting people in and understanding that they're going to get the overtime to work on the vehicles. Like we have vehicles that I approved 4 months ago that still aren't through the shop. Like you can't justify that kind of bottleneck to anybody that knows anything about the car business. Be like, oh yeah, my service department's made $8,500 this year, and I have 30 vehicles that, you know, on average we spend about $3,000 per MBI. You take the good with the bad, and there's $3,000 worth of work. I've got 30 cars that haven't been completed safety yet. There's $90,000 in work just sitting on the lot. I can't justify not being open on Saturday until we get caught up, guys. Like it's just there's no justification there whatsoever. So we absolutely have to turn the corner on this. And everybody knows about the RST money, right? That just hit everybody's account. So the whole thing, everything that we witnessed in September and October, August, and September, that's coming again, and we're not ready for it right now. Like if we have 40 people show up next week at the dealership with all of this money, how long is it going to take us to get through that backlog for used? And we know from experience they all come in looking for used vehicles, right? So we're in a situation now where we have to move forward with this. So we only need one person here. Did Jude actually talk to you guys about any of this yet as far as the Saturday thing? So we're going to teach you guys how to use the point of sale machine so that way you can charge things through. There's going to be an apprentice here that's booked in.
They already used the point of sale machine.
I think. But what was, charging out parts, that was the issue.
Parts was the thing. Joel's the only one
right, so
that knows.
that's what they're going to teach. Yeah, my bad. I forgot about that.
So does it mean that the parts department won't be here then?
No.
So, well, we talked about doing that to an extent with Chad today. We just got to figure out what we're going to be able to do. Chad will man it. We'll have someone there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I was just gonna
It's
say
just
that-
it's a conversation that we'll need to sit down and try and figure out, as long as it's not oil changes. It doesn't make sense to be paying all these people here if we're just doing oil changes,
Yeah.
right? Oil changes
Yeah.
we can preset if we know what's coming in. We can get the filters, whatever, from parts beforehand. But if we're doing additional things, it does make sense at that point to have someone here in parts as well.
Yeah, because I was gonna say charging on parts and then looking up and verifying what parts they
Yeah.
need for the vehicle are two very different things.
Yeah.
So like, and
It's a
I,
whole
and
other
I'm not
career.
even
Okay, that's a whole
qualified for
other
that.
career
at all.
path
Like,
as
that's
well.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
And it's unionized.
Yeah, so is the shop, right? So we need the help
We're
with the
not
shop.
unionized.
No, you guys aren't, but I mean the technicians.
Hmm.
Yeah.
the parts department though is what.
No, I know, but we're asking the technicians to come in for overtime.
Yeah.
No different than we would ask Dwayne and Jane,
Yeah, I
who
asked-
are union. Yeah.
correct. Yes,
But what you're saying is that to do that job.
That's
Yeah.
correct. It
No.
counteracts our.
Yeah.
The so the scheduling is going to change a little bit. When I asked the technicians for the extra time, the option is going to be past 5 also. So it's like, hey guys, just give me what you can. If it's after 5, if it's before 8, if it's Saturdays, right? We're going to just tell me what you can do, and then we're going to build a schedule around that. So there might be some situations where it's like, okay, Zach, you're 10 to 7 today, or something similar. So I don't have, I wish I had more of like a concrete, this is what it's going to look like, but I got to figure out from the technicians when they're willing to come in, so that way we can get the schedule. So hopefully, fingers crossed, once we get rid of this bottleneck, we won't have to do that anymore. if we can get more efficient and do all of the things that we're talking about, hopefully this is just like a 8-week thing type of thing, and then we can get back on track and back to like more of a normal state of mind. And I think re-looking and reshaping how we do with the apprentices is really going to make a big difference there. That's all I have for what I wanted to put out there. We're going to have more of these meetings. What if we're going to have a weekly meeting with the advisors? What works best for you guys?
I'm good absolutely anytime.
Yeah, any day for me.
Daytime.
After 5's not that great for me. Sometimes the kids to pick up and stuff like that.
Yeah, you and Joel will be harder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
you
mornings
just-
and at 5 it's kind of tricky.
Mornings are easier for me, but as long as if I know ahead of time, I can usually.
What does everybody do for lunch? Do you guys just usually pack a lunch and bring it here? Like, what about a working lunch?
I just live close, so I usually just go home.
Oh, do you need to go home, or is it something if we bring a bunch of food in that you're good to work through lunch?
Well,
Not
I just
work
have to
through-
let my dog out at some point during
Okay.
that period, but
Okay.
The only thing with lunch too is that
Bring the
we
dog in.
we alternate our lunch because one person has to be on the desk all the time, right? So we all like one of us goes at 11:30, one of us goes at 12, and the other one goes at 12:30. So that way there's always a lap of.
If we had a meeting though, it would be an hour and Jude could cover downstairs for the 1 hour.
Yeah, like, that's what I mean. Like we
Right.
plan for it and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay.
But I'm just letting you know how normal lunch
Yeah,
operation.
okay. I gotcha.
Okay. So I just want to make sure everybody understands where we're at. You might not agree with everything that's been said. I think there's a good mix of pros and cons to everything that we've talked about. I just want to make sure everybody understands what the vision is at this point. Like, is it clear where we need to go, and is the plan clear of what we're going to be doing at least over the next 8 weeks? Does anybody have any questions on the plan itself?
I don't have any questions with the plan, but I do have a question about the CSI.
Yeah.
So the CSI, which I understand where you're going, where we're going with this, but is that roped in as a group or individual? So for example, let's say my CSI is $850 for the month, but Dylan's CSI is $990. Does that mean that Dylan qualifies for his bonus and I don't? Or do we all have to hit $950 in order to qualify? Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
I
I
understand what you're saying, and let me talk to Karen about that, and then I'll get back to you about that. So I'll put that as a follow-up item because it's a valid question, and I didn't actually think about that.
Also
so
goes into the tips part of things as well, right?
So the tip. So I'm not a big fan of like the whole, you know, if there's $10,000 in the pot, everybody splits it accordingly. But I think just for the short term, as we're rolling this out and we see how it goes, that's just the best way to do it, and then we can tweak it from there. Like, I think it's a valid conversation to have where it's like, hey, there's $5,000 in this tip pool, and my CSI was $975 and Zach's was $662. Why do I have to split, right? So valid conversation down the road. Let's just roll it out, call it a split for now, and then we'll make it just like this is a very fluid plan. Right? Like the nuts and bolts of it are what we need to focus on. That's not going to change. How we accomplish that goal will be very fluid. Well, like I said, that's why I want to start having these meetings every week because it is important, and I have not put enough focus on it over the last little bit. So you guys have my commitment to spend a lot more time with you guys to get this rocking. But like I said, you know, for as much as this seems like a lot, we have so much potential and for very, very little adjustments when it comes down to it. A little bit of pain over the next 8 weeks, but I think we can stabilize that really, really quickly, and then we're off and running.
Joel, is the plan still for you to be done September?
That, as of right now, yes, everything
Okay.
is still in the works for that. Unless something drastic in my life changes, but right now, that
Yeah.
is the plan.
Okay.
Anything else? Kevin, Kevin on.
So, yeah, here's the Asian Kevin here. So the target for CP per RO, if you're pushing CP a lot, now we are struggling with a lot of warranty work and we are short of the technician. So basically that caused a lot of used vehicle not being through the service department. So I mean, if I were one of the advisors, I can make more money off CP per RO, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if that happens? A lot of the advisors are pushing CP per RO, focus on that one, and put the worth things behind.
So, if I can interject there, so we always have a standard of where we should be pro rata, customer pay, internal, and warranty. As a dealership as a whole, we have always been warranty heavy
Mm-hmm.
and very light on customer pay.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that if we increase the CP, it's going to like push us to a place, it's just gonna push us to where we should have been in the first place.
Maybe we are thinking different way though.
Efficiency is the big thing here.
Yeah.
Like the efficiency is the big thing, and like adding the brake fluid, like doing more tire rotations, doing more alignments. We're gonna set up the Alpha Drive to when people are calling, every single person gets asked, you know, when was the last time you had a tire rotation alignment? Do you want us to schedule in for your one? Like immediately. Half of this problem that we have, like to go from 8,500 to 20 grand a month is just asking. And like this Alpha Drive, I'm confident is gonna it's gonna do half the work that for you guys. So a lot of it is just structured process, asking every customer the same questions at the same time, and this is gonna make a big difference.
So basically, the concept of us focusing on CP per RO is just somebody who's coming in for the warranty repair. We are just asking the upselling for the
Yeah.
additional stuff for the.
Just general
Okay,
maintenance,
okay.
that just to keep your vehicles running, that I don't think we do a good job as a dealership of asking for.
Okay, because one of my concern was the loaner ratio for the retail pay customer and the warranty customer is pretty much like leaning on the retail customers right now. There are not a lot of for the warranty customers who are getting the loaners, to be honest. So my concern was if we are all focusing on the CP per RO, then it's kind of if we have extra loaners, we can just. I mean, now we are all offering the loaner vehicle to the customer because we want to have a deal with them, deal from the customer. So I hope that is not happening, but I really want that the ratio of the retail pay and the warranty customer, we need to slowly move this amount of the loaner vehicle rent to the warranty vehicle. So whenever the warranty customer is coming in, no matter what, if we have a loaner sitting on the backside, then we just need to give it away, and then whenever we. I mean, if we think the retail thing is with the huge amount of money, like an engine repair or transmission repair, then of course we can offer it. But the way we are doing everything is fine, but the way we do that on the loaner side, which is extra money, we can easily get $80 per day, which is huge. And once we have a lot of loaner vehicle in the back end, I mean, we should focus on more to collect the money out of every single warranty customer. So, I mean, I do my best to collect the money out of what we have. Even so, the thing is, whenever we had 8 loaner vehicle, 10 loaner vehicle, now we have pretty much 20 vehicles sitting out there. The money, the collecting, compared to 8 vehicle when we had. 20 vehicle we have right now, I can only get less money now because we giving a lot of vehicle for a lot of retail customer, not many warranty customers.
That
so,
we're not collecting all the money for, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
I see what Kevin's saying. Yeah, and Kevin's not wrong. Unfortunately, when our loaner fleet increased to appease the customer, I guess this would go towards CSI. A lot of the retail jobs that we have, because we are so backlogged, we have been giving out loaners, and unfortunately, on the retail side, like Kevin's saying, we don't get money back for those loaners. So those loaners are just going out for free to
Oh,
appease the
but-
customer.
So
Agreed.
I'll cut. This is a conversation for another day. Like this is not
Yeah,
an
sure.
agenda. Important, but we'll tag this for something to talk about later. Just because I got the text waiting to come in. So just in terms of this agenda here, anything else that people need clarification on?
Can I have some dealerships using the AI stuff to
Alpha Drive?
Yeah.
What was it? Freedom Ford.
Sherwood, Sher Park, Ford, Sher something.
Oh
Ford.
yeah, it was Sherwood Park Ford.
Sure, Park.
I don't
Call
think
Sherwood Park Ford.
Sh-
Ask for an appointment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sher something.
I want to test it out before we.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
We went through a live where the guy just did it and booked an appointment, and it was
Alright.
insane.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a fake appointment then.
I think I should just note one thing on the CP side of things for the ROs. Our CP per RO would be a lot higher too, if we cut back on our internal favors, because there's a lot of those.
Nah, I'm not worried about that. That's a CSI thing. Like internal, do you mean like a sales guy coming to you and say, help me out on this and help me out on that type thing?
No, I mean like they're in for this and this, and we decide, hey, we're not going to charge you for this, so we just mark that job label as internal, and it's just marked as 0.
Yeah,
So
that
we didn't charge for it.
that doesn't have as big of an impact on it as
That's
like
not under an I though, so that would never hit your CP per hour.
I'm saying originally it is CP, and we've now turned it to internal, so it's
yeah.
wipe the CP out. You get what I'm saying? So
Every
that's-
dealership does that, right? Like we probably do it in excess versus some of the other dealerships, but when you like, what are Corey's alignment stats at his store? Do you know them off the top of your head?
I don't, but they're bananas. Yeah.
Like rough guess.
Like we did, I think I looked this week, we did 24 or 29 wheel alignments and 7 failed. I bet you Corey probably has done 100 and maybe had like 40% penetration in terms of what he sold.
Yeah.
Now, what's their setup like?
I was curious about that too.
I
because
took
I'd
a
like to know
picture
where
of me
they're-
trying to get an alignment today,
Yeah.
and
Thank you.
I had to have Bob move the vehicle, the shuttle, out of the way so I could get into there. And then I'm trying to get an alignment. I gotta wait for all these people to move out of the way so I
Who's
can
standing in the
safely
alignment
drive
way, though?
in.
Well, it's
Oh,
nice
it's
vehicles,
in a
and they
very-
park outside the door, and then we have to get them to move, and then
So I'm
Sam
trying to
parks
drive
some,
in,
and
and
we
I
have to
gotta
get them
wait
to
for all
move.
these people to move.
So you know what? You're not wrong, but this is our not focusing
what we're
on
doing
keeping
there.
it clear. Do you know what I mean? Like, so
Oh,
we,
you're
we
talking
just
about
never
customers at
focused
desk,
on
there's
yeah.
just
that.
people
Yeah.
everywhere here.
Yeah.
I'm not
That's
saying
what the desk are.
that's not a valid point at all. We just are doing a poor job of organizing it so that stuff like that doesn't happen, right? Like putting a line there, like we talked about, keeping the bays clear. So we're constantly reminding customers, hey, you can't park here. Telling Bob, hey, you can't park the shuttle there. I mean, that's an easy fix. Hopefully, that's a one and done. And I don't know who those people are, but if we get a line up and we remind
Yeah. No,
customers,
these
hey,
were
you
Shell
have to stand in.
customers.
Yeah. So I'm not disagreeing with you at all. It is an issue, but it's an issue we can fix.
And just the little challenges.
No, for sure. We've talked about them. I get it. I get it.
Should have done a loop lane. Yeah, you should put in a loop lane,
That's
not
what I
the
said
beside
from
the
the
one.
get-go.
Yeah, every loop line going to.
Not only that, but it would be more efficient because the vehicle has to go through the loop lane.
Yeah.
Now the vehicle either two things have to happen. We either have to pull it into the nitro bay and then pull it out of the nitro bay and pull it back into the lube bay, or we have to pull it out of the lube bay and then back into the nitro bay to do it.
What would
Most
it
of the
take
people
for
down
us to
there-
move that machine over?
I don't know, but can we table that? Because now I'm down
Yeah.
to 5 minutes with the
Yes.
Greg says time to leave.
Yeah. Okay, meeting adjourned 4:55.